वो पप्पू पास हो गया वाला जो कुछ मीठा हो जाए वाला ad था, it was imaginary, it was a story, but it skyrocketed the sales of Cadbury. Something similar can be great for your social media ads experience. Anybody and everybody who can generate content strategies or content ideas is something crucial, and if somebody can do that, then that is probably the best domain to be if you want to be into the digital marketing stratosphere.
I'm Harsh Singh, your host. Welcome back for another exciting episode of our official podcast. Season 4 of Anubhav is all about exploring things that are heard but not known. In this episode, we shift our focus towards the exploration of opportunities and strategies in the digital world post MBA. Our discussion will encompass various aspects like digital marketing, including entry points, post MBA opportunities, key elements like budgeting, strategies, and what are the new trends in the digital marketing world. Before we get started, I'm thrilled to introduce our guest of this episode, Mr. Nishant Somani. Sir is a seasoned professor serving as a visiting faculty in SIMS Pune. Sir is also a founder and CEO of Techie Sharks and Chief Journey Officer at Journey.co. Sir excels in real estate marketing, lead generation, and customized air travel solutions. And now, without further delay, let's commence this fascinating episode of Anubhav. To set the stage, sir, my and a lot of digital marketing experts and professionals ask this question that is SEO relevant or is it dead?
Okay, great. Hi, thanks firstly for having me here. SEO, see, they say you don't say somebody is dead or something is dead unless it is completely dead, right? A cricket match is not won unless it's won. Similarly, SEO might be on a downward trend, but it is not something that's completely out of proportions and not giving you the results that you want it to give. Particularly, SEO works brilliantly well for the service industry. Any service that you want to be a part of, service industries require search engine optimization just for the simple fact that you can particularly tell people the applications of that particular service. Okay, why do I need my vehicle serviced from a particular vehicle station? So something like that, if the content can be driven on the basis of applications more than selling the particular service, application-based content will definitely work better on SEO because that's something that the audience ends up searching on Google, and that's completely relevant to today's day and age. On the other hand, with product industry, we are always better working on the advertising part of things when it comes to products. So for services, SEO is pretty much there. For products, there are other things that could be your priority than search engine optimization.
All right. So when it comes to analytics of SEOs, whenever we do SEOs or professionals do SEO in the future, the websites have a dynamic structure right now, like coded websites and non-coded websites. So what are your views on like using analytics and the new tools on the current websites right now?
It doesn't really matter what platform do you make the website from. If it's a coded, non-coded, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, SEO is all about getting more and more people onto your website. So if the content can be driven in a way that can make sure, facilitate the entire process of getting an audience onto your website, then it is completely secondary if it is a coded or a non-coded website. WordPress websites are doing better than any websites these days. Shopify does great for any e-commerce related website. So it is completely secondary what platform you're using, but the content is primary. And for services, the content is even more important because the application is something that's crucial.
Right, sir. So also, sir, when it comes to professionals choosing their career, so multiple people of marketing domain are confused between selecting SEO as a SEO specialist as a field or SEM as a field.
Hmm.
So they should be a PP. What do you think? Like, what is the better choice? If you should go for PPC, or you should go for SEO or on the content creating platforms or roles?
Uh, See, it depends on what career stage you are in. If you're a grad or an undergrad trying to get his or her path into the marketing scheme of things, then SEO is a decent way to start with. But if you are students who are post grads, MBA grads, getting out there into the management field, you need to understand that once you're hired or once you start working even for yourself, you are on a managerial position wherein you are not expected to sit and do SEO. You're not expected to sit and generate those backlinks. You are the one who is going to strategize the entire thing. And strategy is something that is much more relevant and much more important onto the content domain than the more clerical task, so to say, for SEO. So for that very reason, if somebody can just create content, right? A very basic example that I love giving is if you can pick, you probably driving across the city, you can pick a particular business and you can be like, इसके growth के लिए ये content बना सकते हैं. If you can start making content in your head, strategizing what can be done for any particular business, that is the field that has the most demand these days. Anybody and everybody who can generate content strategies or content ideas is something crucial. And if somebody can do that, then that is probably the best domain to be if you want to be into the digital marketing stratosphere.
Right, sir. So also, sir, there are plenty examples. Like there are plenty websites available for hosting and for putting your content online, basically. But there are a lot of problems we face while we do navigate towards building up a website or hosting a website on online platforms. So what are your what are your recommendations to the people? Like what is the best kind of website for a specific domain? Or else if you are a real estate, for example, you have done real estate a lot of times. So what is your views on what should a real estate website should be on hosted on?
It completely depends on the how heavy the website is. If there's a lot of audience, a lot of landing pages that are built onto the website, then you need to have your own independent hosting. If not, if it's something that is just a portfolio-based website, which is just to show people what work you've done, what projects you've got, etc., in that case, even a co-shared hosting space, something that probably a GoDaddy would offer you hosting or maybe a Wix, Shopify, etc. These hosting spaces do well. We've been using a lot of these hosting spaces, and there's no real challenge with the hosting part, so to say, unless and until you are somebody who wants to give people their own login ID details. You want to give separate login ID credentials to people. They're going to have their own community platform, member platform, etc., all of those things. If that's something you need to do, then in that case, you need to buy your own specific hosting server. And for that particular thing, we tend to recommend AWS the best. Like that's going to give you the best private hosting space.
All right, sir. And sir, now coming on to SEM, if you talk about PPC, pay per click, there are a lot of professionals working on this, and there's a lot of big market in this. So right now, Google is coming up with new algorithms and new updates day by day.
Right.
So recently they have updated their ads, Google Ads platform, and they have introduced a new dashboard. So the dashboard is seamless. It's of course very very efficient, but some people find it way difficult to use it. So what are your views on these updates are really helping people right now, the new digital marketers, or is it like it's a big problem for us?
Uh, it's not really a problem. The see PPC per se, just to put it out there, Google Ads is an extremely beneficial way of promoting your business. Probably the most beneficial way of doing it. It's the most standardized and something that is going to give you a guaranteed flow of results that you require. More than any other platform, Google Ads will give you a certain structure, a certain guarantee that day in, day out, you're going to get this XYZ number of conversions that you're looking at. Having said that, the new dashboard, the changes that they keep coming up with, it's just a process. It's their attempt of being relevant to the market. If you notice what Google Ads dashboard was 5 years back and what it is today, more or less, the major things are the same. There are some tweaks here and there, some design structures changed, but the content per se onto Google Ads is the same. The process is pretty much the same. So it's not it's not a very drastic change that has happened. It's just adapting to the newer dashboard because they, as a business, also need to be relevant with advertisers. They want to make it a bit more easier for newer, inexperienced advertisers to come and start advertising their businesses onto Google Ads. And for that very reason, Google Ads should be something that everybody should try their hand on. It's just like driving a car. The more and more you do it, it's going to get easier because it's a process. After a point in while, you won't even have to look where are you clicking because you know what is placed where, and it becomes a tad bit more easier with practice.
Okay, all right. So also, when it comes to when we talk about Google Ads, we can also talk about Bing Ads too. Like Bing Ads are way different. What we have, what kind of ads we used to play on, PPC or whatever we used to do on Google itself.
Correct.
So, what do you think about Bing Ads, and is it really relevant to use Bing Ads right now?
Uh, to be very honest, in for an Indian market, not really. Bing ads, if you go on and check Bing's own reports and own results, their ad revenue, 95% of the ad revenue comes from the United States. So if you're running ads there, that is where their audience is. For an Indian market per se, uh, it's safe to say that you could probably just avoid running ads on Bing because the audience is not there. Just like how we've discussed this earlier, uh, there's a reason why you end up putting your sabji into a sabji mandi instead of doing it on a highway separately, right? Because you want to be where people are. So that's for that very reason you could probably just avoid Bing ads and focus all of that energy and all of those resources onto Google.
Okay, all right, sir. Sir, also when we talk about Google Ads now, and also PPC, now when we go for example, we have a customer who are from a background of e-commerce, and they are selling products online, and they are also using AWS as a platform for their services. So how do we navigate towards AWS? Like, is AWS all relevant towards selling these things, or you can also use Google Ads as a, as a integration to this?
Uh, it is pretty much just a space where it's a cloud that they're
Right,
offering to you,
right.
right? So it depends on the volumes. So companies like Royal Enfields, they also have a lot of accessories business that they tend to sell, right? Now, Royal Enfield's accessories business, if you go onto Royal Enfield's website, you would see that it's built on Shopify. A brand like Royal Enfield, which has a lot of accessories business, almost equal to the sales that they do in terms of their motorbikes revenue-wise. So that is something that Royal Enfield does, and they still use Shopify. They do not need an AWS. AWS is something that you would need as a serving space if there's a lot of quantum that you're working on, and then you want it completely independent. Something like a maybe something which is a collaborator of multiple people trying to sell, right? Aggregator sorts. So that is some place where AWS would come into picture. But for all other e-commerce businesses, even if they achieve a certain scale, their own hosting spaces are more than enough. They don't really need the service of
Okay,
AWS.
all right. And so now, if we have to just on go on deeper in this, there are clients who ask you about, we need some ad budget. We have a certain ad budgets, and we need performance marketing. And this, we need some growth hacks and all those stuffs. So what does it really mean? For example, if you are, if they ask you that I have a certain budget and this is the budget I can always pay for that, and the keywords they have given it to you. So how do you perform those things?
See, first things first, performance marketing is slightly broader than just running ads onto certain platforms. Uh, it is everything, right? From creating your landing page to the ad copy to running ads to delivering the ads and to automating the entire structure in a way that it is all seamless for a customer journey. Okay. So now when we say that performance marketing requires a certain budget. You cannot perform on a tight budget. You absolutely cannot. So something that we also do on our agency is the first thing that they have to fill in a questionnaire is what kind of budget they're looking at on a monthly basis. If the budget is something that is not substantial, we cannot really work on it. Now, what is a substantial budget is always going to differ industry to industry. But if it is not a reasonable budget, you cannot perform. First things first is that we need a reasonable budget. With that comes strategizing that what percentage of that budget is to be used where. For something like an e-commerce brand, a lot of performance marketing funds are allocated to the platforms, to the marketplaces, to Amazon, to Mintras, to all of these Mishos, all of these places. A lot of quantum of if they're selling on Amazon, you'll get better performance if you try and allocate more funds onto Amazon and then subsequently onto meta platforms, right? So that is where the big bucks lies when it comes to performance for e-commerce. For anything bigger than that, say something like a real estate, something like any financial related services where you're talking about big money there. In those cases, performance marketing is more about generating leads for a particular platform for a particular product, and those leads then come again res- with respect to what the entire marketing strategy is. You either do it via Google Ads or Meta Ads. There again, you have to take a strategic call how much funds to allocate where. But say for something which is big in money, where the person has to spend a lot, say around 60-40 ratio in the favor of Google would work better. And for all e-commerce platforms who are onto marketplaces, right? For all e-commerce brands, for that for them, the Amazon part should be higher. Amazon, Flipkart, etc. The ads that you run there are going to get you a much bigger chunk of revenue.
All right, sir. Also, sir, there are a lot of factors which affect your website in terms of PPC.
Right.
When it comes to relevancy, when it
Right.
comes to the landing page experience, the bounce rate, and the new your the account, how much
The history.
yeah, the history of your account. So what does it really mean? For example, if someone like me who is starting to starting his journey in digital marketing, and I'm trying to make my space in PPC, so how would that affect me, and why would Google all support me in this field?
See, there's a very simple way. Let's take a use case of somebody starting out a business, right? For the first few weeks or months, the basic things you need to do is you need to just follow the Google advertising policies. Just go through them. It's a long list of doc. It's a huge doc with a lot of policies, but go through those and follow those policies for the first few weeks or months. Spend on Google, irrespective if you're getting the result or not getting the result. It's not कि मैंने एक हफ्ता spend किया and I did not get the result that I wanted, and now then I'm going to stop because Google is a bad platform. It's not giving me results in 1 week's time. Is not how it works. We need to be patient with the entire platform. There are lakhs and crores of companies which are doing well on Google. Need to be patient with it. Follow the structure, follow the process, give it some time so that you can build your account history there. Once the account history is built, something, as you rightly mentioned, the landing page experience is completely onto you, how you are going to build it. We always recommend you driving an A/B test for your landing page. Put up 2 to 3 different designs, different colors, of the landing page, and run ads on all of them, and then you will start seeing the difference. What landing page is performing in what manner, and then whichever is performing well is something that you can continue for the long term. So all of this trial has to be done when you're starting out something completely from scratch. And with that, what happens is your account history gets better, the landing page experience will get better, even your CTRs, the expected click-through rates, etc., start to get better because your ad copy is also something you're going to work on. With all of this going in the upward direction, what happens eventually is the quality score of a particular campaign or particular account, to say, that becomes higher. And once the quality score is higher, you don't really need to get into the bidding war where you have to outbid somebody in order to rank on the first page of Google. You can just stick to a good quality score and your ad rank is going to perform better, and you are going to end up being on the first page of Google. So for that very reason, to avoid the bidding war, you can always start slow, conservative, but in a very process-oriented manner. And it's something that we always recommend. Once you start a Google ad campaign, whenever you start, you should always start with a horizon of 6 months. I am not going to stop this ad before 6 months. I have a budget of 6 months, and I'm going to keep running it for 6 months, irrespective of the result. You can probably reduce the budget if you're conservative in nature. The business is conservative. Reduce the budget, but never stop the ad. Run it for 6 months, and post 6 months, you will have absolutely no problem ranking on the first page of Google.
All right, sir. Okay. So, sir, when we talk about ranking, now what comes to my mind is social media really relevant in this field? Like, for example, if you use like normal practices of SEO, I understand. But the thing is, when it comes to social media, there are a lot of platforms available. So, are linking towards social media really rank your website and help you in the digital world?
Uh, See, I would rather keep both these things separate. You should work on social media separately and you should be working on Google separately. You cannot really expect your Google ranking to increase if your social media has a certain dominance in your industry. This is the reason that a lot of companies have two different teams for the search engines and for the social media, and that is how they operate. Social media has a different game altogether. It's completely content driven. There is no social media platform today which doesn't work without content. It is completely content driven. Even if you're advertising, it is still uh, content driven, because the ads have to have a certain content, a certain story that is going to get you the clicks and the views that you're looking for. And on the other hand, with Google, it is more of the experience that you're giving and the correct backend structure that you're putting in place. So for that very reason, both of these things have to be separate. Social media is very much relevant. There's absolutely no two ways about it. It's very much relevant. But again, it's very important to understand what platform to use for what business and at what stage of this business. We at B schools very well know that there's a product life cycle that follows, right? Similarly, there's a marketing life cycle of a product. So that marketing life cycle is something that we need to understand, and the strategy behind it is something that is extremely important for you to understand. Ki when should I go and get influencers onto my platform, and when should I be doing influencer marketing, and when is it when I just need to roll out a lot of content and run ads? What is the budgeting that we need to do? All of that is going to be basis a strategy, and that strategy is something that a marketing life cycle would follow.
All right, sir. So also, sir, when it comes to playing ads, or if you are playing your ads on social media, what really you need to keep in mind? Like, unlike Google, Google has a different kind of mindset. Whenever you are strategizing on Google, you are bidding towards keywords. You also see a lot of new things. But when it comes to social media, there's a lot of new things you come across. You also come across a good creative. You need to have a good creative, and then you need to target the audience, like segregate the audience a way better than what you have done in the Google itself.
Correct.
So how it is relevant to advertise on social media to compare to advertising on Google?
See, as we've discussed this, it is pretty much relevant, running ads on social media. How do you strategize for it? See, simply put, we've all seen TV ads, right? We've all seen TV ads when we were younger, and we've seen those Cadbury Kuch Meeta Ho Jaye ads and all of those ads, right? The social media platforms these days are moving towards what TV was probably 10, 12 years back. It's on a similar trajectory. Now, for that very reason, when you are rolling out content, when you are running ads per se, for those ads, there has to be a story, there has to be a brand line, a brand category that you end up building. Okay, so when you are able to do that, that is where the long-lasting effect of an ad campaign is going to be. Till today, or till say probably 6 months earlier, social media strategies were all about the moment, that we are running ads today with respect to a thought that we've got. We want results today. We are not here to build a brand in terms of social media, using social media ads. Brand building ke liye, we've got content creation, we've got Google, we've got SEO, etc. But social media ads now are a huge way of building a brand. And for that, there has to be a proper storyline, like we always say that content is king, right? Content and story in the marketing world are going to take you places. Now, if you are a good storyteller and if you can drive content clearly, if the vision is very clear, then there's no stopping you. So imagine something where any particular any particular company comes up, a new company that comes up, something like, if I don't know if you guys heard of Birkenstock. Birkenstock is a footwear company from Germany, now in India. Crazy expensive footwear, right? Chappal costs 10,000 rupees, right? So, and Indians in a price sensitive market like India, 10,000 rupee ka chappal, and what they make it of is cork, जिससे हम बैडमिंटन खेलते हैं, राइट? तो उसका बनाया हुआ चप्पल, just so that they have driven a story, they've driven a content basis that this is going to heal all the back issues that you've got, all the orthopedic issues that you've got is something that is going to get healed once you start using these chappals. Now, what are they doing? They're driving content. There's a story and there's content that is backing the story, and it is continuous in process. It's not that it's changed. It's probably a 19th century company. It's मतलब बहुत पुरानी कंपनी है, even much longer than India was in existence, right? So they are still relevant and they're still using the same concept today, the same concept of the story that they're trying to create. Now, for that, that is how you end up building a brand. So, social media is something that can be used. So, all the new age marketers who are watching this right now and they want to do better on their social media ads, make stories, write stories, tell stories. Stories can be imaginary, and that is completely fine, but link it to your product. Link it to your product and it is good. वो पप्पू पास हो गया वाला जो कुछ मीठा हो जाए वाला ad था, it was imaginary, it was a story, but it skyrocketed the sales of Cadbury. Something similar can be great for your social media ads experience.
Right. So now we have seen that there's AI coming in, and people were tensed about their job. The thing is, AI has helped a lot of things in terms of writing a content or helping you into writing PPC contents over there, be it SEO, be it SEM. But when it comes to understanding that will this take away the jobs of digital marketers as a whole, or will it assist us in some other way?
Uh, as of today, it is only here to assist us. As of today, AI is here to increase the efficiency of people onto the marketing domain. But the clerical things where not a lot of thought goes into all of this, is going to be driven by AI. Something like captions on a video. There is not a lot of thought that needs to go on there. You've got the audio script, you take the entire transcript of it and you put it onto the captions. Anybody can do it. There's not a lot of strategy or any brain that you need to put in. That is something that can be very well done by AI. It's already been done by AI very easily. So all of these things जहाँ पे आपको strategy नहीं बनानी पड़ती है, where the human brain usage is to the minimum, that is where AI can replace right now. But at the same time, it's also important for us to understand how to use AI for our benefit, right? I don't know if you guys would mind me saying this, but I read the mail that you had sent me for this particular podcast. That entire mail was ChatGPT driven. I had seen the file, and it is very easy to make out that it's a ChatGPT driven document. Okay, now because I am using it so much, it's very easy to understand. We need to understand how do we make this better in terms of the experience that we are trying to give out to the person we are sending it. Okay. And it is absolutely killer. Something like LinkedIn can be used in a great way to generate content and to create brands, so to say. But there, it's extremely easy to just type in something on ChatGPT, you'll get the content, you paste it on LinkedIn, and you will expect that, I'm going to hit virality overnight. That's not something that's going to happen. You need to make it more relevant. The problem with AI today is that it lacks emotion and it lacks tonality. Two things that humans need. You don't know AI wouldn't know the emotion of the communication that you're wanting to send out. The emotion is only something that you would know. Also, the emotion of the person who's going to perceive the entire thing, the audience. So that and the tonality of talking, that is something that extremely important for us to use AI in a better way to drive that.
Let's start with the rapid fire round.
Okay.
So, Facebook ads or Google ads?
So,
just choose one, sir.
Google ads.
All right. Email marketing, influencer marketing?
WhatsApp marketing.
Oh. SEO or SEM?
SEM, always.
Okay. TikTok, LinkedIn target for customers?
LinkedIn for B2B. TikTok, I am not aware. I market in India, so.
All right. And Instagram and Twitter?
Instagram.
Okay. And with that, we reach to the end of this episode. Stay curious, stay inspired, stay tuned. Thank you.